Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, thank you for joining Kathy's Creole Kitchen. Today, we're going to be making my friends of my family's famous onion rice. She was from Puerto Rico, and she assured me that this was an authentic Puerto Rican dish. So I'm going to share it with you in her memory and in her honor. You're going to start off with 5 slices of bacon, crisp. You're going to cook it crisp. You're going to reserve the oil, the drippings from it. You're going to take a cup of rice, 1 whole onion, a tablespoon and a half of Sazon Accent. That's what it's called, Sazon Accent, right here. This is it. And then you're going to have a can of French onion soup and a can of water. And here's 2 pieces of the bacon crumbled because we're going to cook the onions and the rice with that. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the bacon drippings in the pan right here. We're going to turn it on and we're going to heat it up until it gets, we're going to put it on a high fire until it gets warm. And then we're going to put the cup of rice, raw rice, not cooked, the onion, and the 2 pieces of bacon crumpled up. And what we're going to do is we're going to cook it until the onions cook down and the rice browns. You're going to go back and forth with it to brown the rice. So we're going to get that done. Let me find a spoon so that we can stir it back and forth, because I just want you to see the starting process, because it's going to take a little bit. It takes maybe 10, 15 minutes to do this. So we're going to just heat up the rice, heat up the oil. We're going to add the rice first. Going to put the rice in there like that. And then we're going to stir it back and forth like so to get all the bacon drippings on the rice. So we're doing that. And we're just going to let it brown, and we're going to cook it back and forth. And we're going to add the onions with it. There I go again saying all the time. It's just a habit, I can't help it. So we're going to stir this back and forth so it gets all cooked up all nice. And when it starts browning, you can turn the fire down. And when it starts to browning a little, I would add the 2 slices of bacon crumbs. So we'll take care of this, and then when we get to the next step, I'll get back with you. Okay, we've browned the rice a bit. So the onions are cooked down in it. Now we're going to add the bacon crumbs. This is 2 slices of bacon crumbled up. We're going to save the other 3 for crumbling on top when the rice is done. So I'm going to stir that a little more in there. I'm going to add our can of onion soup. And I'm going to get a can of water, filtered water. Get a can of filtered water to pour in there with it. Stir it up. Smells yummy. We're going to add the Sazon Accent, a tablespoon and a half of Sazon Accent. You should be able to get it at grocery stores, wherever ethnic foods are sold. So we're going to stir this up. We're going to let it come to a boil, and when it comes to a boil, we're going to cook down some of the liquid, and then we're going to cover it and put it under a low fire, a low flame, and we're going to cover it, and we're going to cook it under a low flame for about 15 minutes, and then we'll take a look and see if it's done. But for right now, it's on the fire. The fire is all the way up. We're going to let it come to a boil. Well, now the fire is all the way up. We're going to let it come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we're going to put the lid on it, and we're going to turn the fire down to low and let it cook for 15 minutes. Okay, so it's been cooking, the rice has been cooking on a low temperature, low flame for about 15 minutes. So I'm gonna off the heat and I'm gonna take the lid off and I'm just gonna let it breathe for about 5 minutes so that all the juices can dissipate and I can get a little bit firmer rice. So we're gonna let it, I took off the heat and I took the lid off, and so I'm gonna let it set for about 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm ready to try it out. I'm gonna get a spoon, get some out. Get some of the bacon, sprinkle a little bacon on top of it so you get that crunch. And we're gonna try it. It might be cool enough now, but it still looks pretty hot. This is very good. Let me give you the recap the ingredients. We're gonna fry 5 strips of bacon, 1 onion cut up, 1 cup of uncooked rice, 1½ tablespoons of Sazon Accent, this right here, 1 can of onion soup, and 1 cup of water. This is a delicious side dish for any meal. If you like rice, you're gonna love this because I like rice and I love it. Thank you so much for joining me again on Kathy's Creole Kitchen. Please join me again next week and have a lovely weekend.